YouTube, how are you? You ready for this? We're going to go live on Facebook. All right. We're good on Facebook? We're good? We're good. Ladies and gentlemen, why pot stocks won't go higher long term? And are you actually consistent yet in a very easily tradable market? I'm going to prove to you that simplicity, as well as explain my thoughts on marijuana stocks and their future. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. So many great things to talk about today, including pot stocks, are you consistent yet, and whatnot. And we're going to go into all that great stuff. By watching this show, you are agreeing to hold me, Mark Melnick, harmless and not responsible for anything. If you do not agree to that, kindly exit this video. And if you do agree, enjoy the show. Okay, let's just get right into it. There's so many, I get it in the room every day, people asking me for levels, like, for example, on Canopy Growth here, CGC and Tilray and all these other marijuana companies. And I just figured I would just take the chance right now and, really talk about it more. I mean, we called some really nice bottoms here in the marijuana industry. We called the dead bottom here on August 28th, if you remember. A lot of you guys rode that, move. It moved over 25%, and you will continue, in my opinion, to get moves like that. But I want to talk about marijuana stocks, pot stocks, and why they're genuinely not going to be, at least for me, a long term investment. So when I say they won't go higher, I'm not saying that these silly little names can't go up 50% or won't double per se, but you have to understand where it's coming from. So throughout US history, marijuana was considered a Schedule 1 drug. And if you're unfamiliar with the United States FDA scheduling laws and rules and classifications and bracket classifications, that's the same classification as heroin. Now, for those people with 7 working brain cells, you know that marijuana is much less dangerous than heroin. When they show somebody who smokes marijuana on TV, their eyes are tend to be like, "Dude, yo, let's get some munchies, man. Yeah, this feels awesome. Yo, what are you doing later, bro?" And you get more like something like that. And when you're dealing with somebody like a heroin addict or a crackhead, also two Schedule 1 drugs, you get like, hey man, how are you doing? And it's a much different type of generalization as somebody who would use that drugs in the most stereotypical fashion. The business of growing, processing, distributing, selling marijuana was always done illegally. If you went to high school in the United States of America, you most likely knew somebody who was selling marijuana. But now, all of a sudden, years later, the laws have changed. Over a dozen U.S. states now have completely opened up the market for marijuana. Even if where you are right now, marijuana is still illegal, you've definitely, as a trader, heard about marijuana companies and pot stocks. And no matter where you go, if you're looking this up on the internet, literally Google ads will start actually spamming you about the next hottest penny pot stock, and you're going to become a pot stock millionaire. How many people have heard that term before? Forget about becoming a day trading millionaire. How many people have heard becoming a pot stock millionaire? Probably just about all of you guys have heard of that one before. And after all, it's a multi-billion dollar market. I mean, George Washington had several marijuana crops, hemp crops, and after 100 years, it's finally opening up. And no matter who you asked at the time, it's going to, shoot up through the moon. And all these large companies are plowing huge sums of money in it. And this should spell, big opportunities for people who are buying these marijuana stocks, investors of it, right? Um, well, No, this is not, in my opinion, going to happen. We could just look at simple monthly charts of some of these names, and I'll pull them up for you right now, and I'll show you. And here's a monthly of, for example, CGC. And just so you know, CGC was trading at $1 back in 2015. CGC exploded to $59.25 since 2015, dwarfing some of the hottest tech companies ever in terms of percentage return. So now when I see a CGC at 20 bucks, I still think to myself there are people who are buying this stock at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bucks. But isn't it time for these marijuana companies to come back already? Isn't it time for them to come back? No, it isn't. The most dramatic example would actually be Tilray, and this is a monthly chart of Tilray, and it might be hard to see, and I'll zoom in. And Tilray was a $20 stock. It IPO'd back in July of 2018. The stock is literally about a year old. And within that year, the stock went from $20.10 to $300 within the span of less than 3 months. From here to here in less than 3 months, only to come all the way back down where it closed today at $22.12. Now, when it actually hit $300, Tilray briefly hit a $20 billion valuation, which is roughly the same as, American Airlines. But hear this out. Tilray brought in $200 million in revenue for the entire year of 2018. Does anybody want to guess how much money American Airlines brought in? $45 billion. 200 million, 45 billion. And for those who are not doing the math real quick, that's 225 times more revenue. Yes, 225 more times more revenue. 200 million, 45 billion. And all these other marijuana stocks with barely any sales, definitely negative earnings and everything went 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200 times return. In the case of CGC, in a few years, it did 59 times return in, just a short amount of time. But to understand why, you really have to look at the past stock performance and into the actual business of selling marijuana. The fact is, for me, most marijuana companies stand little chance of ever making significant profits. I mean, think about it. Sure, it's new, it's exciting. Everybody loves marijuana. Blanket statement. Everybody, it's cool, yeah, it's fun. It doesn't really hurt you that much, and there's medicinal benefits. I have a bum knee, and it just makes me feel so good. But marijuana is a tough business. And it's going to get much, much tougher as the market matures. You see, now that it's becoming legal, there's nothing special about marijuana. It's like soy, corn, wheat, apples. It's a crop. The only difference is apples are much harder to grow, as is corn and wheat, than marijuana. Selling marijuana was lucrative because it was illegal. When something is illegal, the price of it soars. To grow it, to sell it, you risked getting caught, getting locked in jail, or getting murdered or beat up by rival drug dealers. Now, most of you aren't, yeah, remember the alcohol prohibition, Rich? Exactly. Most people won't break the law. For decades, only people were okay operating as criminals went into the marijuana business. Today, there are over 10,000 marijuana growers across the United States, legal, known marijuana growers like grow houses. That exceeds the number of breweries in America. The number of marijuana growers exceed the number of breweries. And although only about 11, 12 states have legalized marijuana so far to this point, more than 5,000 marijuana shops have opened up across the country. Care to guess how many Walmarts there are in the US? Does anyone want to guess? About 4,700. Do you see, ladies and gentlemen, 5,000 specialty broccoli stores, or pea stores, or wheat stores, or carrot stores, or corn stores? No. Vegetables sit on grocery shelves and sell for 99 cents. In fact, I cannot walk anywhere without seeing CBD oil for sale, whether it's CVS, whether it's the local pharmacies here, everybody's selling CBD oil legally, and it's right by the register. Farmers, if you want to call marijuana growers, which is the art of horticulture, are lucky to squeeze out profit at this point in time as their profits are dwindling based on increased supply. It's price compression, and that is marijuana's future. And many of you guys who love pot stocks or just love pot are not going to like what I have to say. But the truth is, marijuana is a commodity. It's all roughly the same no matter where or how it's grown. You know, people who are pot fanatics are going to argue my point. They'll insist there are dozens of different strains that all make you feel a different way when you consume it. They'll point out that while the THC in weed makes you feel high, the CBD does not. They'll emphasize to you that the CBD seems to have this important medicinal properties which we're still doing research on that's going to cure so many diseases in which we don't know and what it helps and can one day be the key ingredient in many of the new drugs out there. They'll say marijuana has dozens of uses other than, of course, getting you high. And I'm sure all this is likely true. But for you as a stock trader, not even a trader you could trade these names, but as a long-term investor in these marijuana companies, this should be irrelevant for you. There are half a dozen different kind of apples on the shelf of every grocery store. What is there? There's who can name some? There's Granny Smith. There's the golden delicious, the red delicious, the Fuji, the Fiji, the Fuji, the Gala, the Macintosh apples, right? You can turn apples into applesauce, apple cider, apple juice, apple pie. The apple is a very versatile fruit, right? Yet selling apples is far from lucrative. The competition, if you don't know, if you're not a marijuana expert as myself, I have grown marijuana before, illegally, a very long time ago, and it's the easiest thing in the world to grow. You know how weeds grow in the fields? You just throw some seeds and they grow. You know why they call marijuana weed? Because it grows everywhere. Now, yes, I understand the hydroponic growing system is a little more complex. It needs certain variances of light to darkness. The higher the darkness ratio, the taller it grows, but the less potent the THC. I know all about the high pressure sodium lamps and the metal halide lamps, and I understand the horticulture and having certain organic feeds in order to stop mold from growing and how to grow it hydroponically. And yes, it is a little more complex than just the weed that you buy in the store is not weed that was just had somebody throw some seeds in the forest somewhere and come back 6 months later and have some crops. You see, Oregon was one of the first states to legalize marijuana back in 2015. At first, there were only a handful of growers, so they could charge exorbitant prices. But according to the latest state government report from Oregon, marijuana prices have been cut in half over the past 3 years. What happened? Well, in short, new companies flooded the market. The same report estimated there is enough pot in the state to last for 6.5 years right now today. I'll repeat it again. There's enough marijuana in the state of Oregon right now. If they don't grow another ounce of marijuana, there's enough marijuana to support the entire state of people, even those who don't smoke marijuana, for the next 6.5 years. Few things can devastate an industry like rapid price compression, and many of these marijuana stocks are already showing the suffering of this. Tilray and Canopy Growth are two are two of the biggest public marijuana producers, with GW Pharmaceuticals being the most drug-related FDA approval company for marijuana. But just looking at a Tilray and a Canopy Growth, which is CGC and TLRY, revenues for both companies doubled last year. Yet as marijuana prices tumbled, both companies posted record stock price declines. And after much hype, investors really sprinted towards the exits and dove headfirst. Tilray has plunged 90% this year. Show you a weekly chart. Tilray already went down 90% this year. Kind of nuts, right? Meanwhile, Canopy Growth is already trading off the $49 highs over 50% lower. The pot industry is dead in the water. And to be clear, parts of the marijuana business are going to boom over the next couple of years. Cannabis shops will continue popping up all over the place. I'm sure big American companies will continue to invest billions of dollars in the sector. And I'm sure a handful of marijuana stocks are going to defy the odds and go on to achieve big gains, similar to the tech bubble, which popped back in 2000 on April 4th of 2000, and only few of them survived today. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's not make any mistake. The whole marijuana industry is staring down on the barrel of price compression, and pot stocks are not going to be a place where serious long term investors are going to even want to put their money. Marijuana is just it's simply a commodity, it's simply a crop. And if you talk about these unique patented strains out there, as somebody who understands horticulture very well, there's this process called grafting. And what you do is you take two marijuana plants at different strains. You basically cut it on about a 38-degree angle. You could do 45. Oh, Melnick knows this stuff, right? You literally take one of the pot plants and put it on the stem of the other. You literally just tape it up, and it grows a new strain of marijuana completely. Now, of course, there are, that's more of the dummy way of doing it. You can change the strain of a potent marijuana plant by a tenth of 1%, and it's a genetically different crop. You just bypass the entire patent process because I was initially intrigued by the I was initially intrigued by the patent process because if one company found a strain of marijuana that is just so, amazing and so good that nobody else has it, that could be value for the company and they could patent the strain. But because a patentable strain can be changed by fractions of a percent or even 2% and still produce a similar amount of THC, a similar amount of CBD, as well as still deal just, if not better, the same medicinal benefits of the original strain while having a completely new strain, it means nothing is safe. It means nothing is safe in the marijuana industry. And you might come to me and you say, well, Mark, how about Beyond Meat, for example? It's pea protein, Mr. Melnick. You want to know what it takes to create a Beyond Burger? I could give you 50 years and you will never create a Beyond Burger in your wildest dreams. That is the difference. It is modified, it is processed beyond belief. It's not easy to just make a Beyond Burger, despite the fact that it's plant based. The genetically modified soy, the pea protein, the way they mix them together, the way they combine the ingredients together, the way they process it, a patented processing system makes it very hard to duplicate. The same thing goes for cigarettes. Tobacco, excuse me, which has natural nicotine, is almost impossible to grow. You cannot grow tobacco in your wildest dreams. You cannot grow good tobacco in your wildest dreams. It's the number two pesticided crop on the planet because every sort of insect and pest destroys it. It requires perfect humidity, perfect temperature, perfect soil, that is meant for growing this. Unlike marijuana, in which the best marijuana is used growing, the best marijuana is used grown hydroponically through water. So there's a huge difference between a Beyond Burger and marijuana. I'm still waiting to buy Beyond. I know I did my video. It got, initiated with a lower neutral target, with a negative thing the other day. I'm still waiting to buy this thing. If you're in the Newsbeat live room, obviously you'll know in real time, but I still haven't bought Beyond Meat yet. I'm still waiting. I was thinking of buying it today. I ended up shying away from it, um, just as a heads up from that. But I now want to talk about consistency because I think it's very important. I think that's like the new buzzword on the internet. And obviously, I've been probably using the word consistency for the last 300 to 350 videos that I have produced, which means that it's a very big topic for me. So today was an amazing trading day. Today, everything I touched worked. So here were the two names I was watching this morning. And I just want to show it to you here, and you could just focus in right over here. Basically says, good morning, bandits. Watching earnings names, Goldman, CJ, blah, 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 blah. NVIDIA long, 2.5 out of 10 conviction. Bed Bath & Beyond long, 2 out of 10, half out of 10 conviction. Rita may be a crazy view up reversal short. We'll be watching puts if this sets up. And I say, welcome to the earnings season. Be smart. There'll be plenty of names on most trading days, which is a lot different of a tale that I showed you guys yesterday, where I basically said, where was that? Right here. On Monday, which was yesterday, I said, good morning, bandits. Dead day. Quick scalp, maybe. Not a great day for trading. Completely different mentality on a day like today. And I'm going to show you exactly what we did. So we're watching NVIDIA and Bed Bath & Beyond as our two main focus names. And NVIDIA set up with a nice green bar in the 1 minute. So what we did was we did a one and done strategy. And if you want to know what strategies we're doing, I literally shared a video with you outlining exactly how I'm going to trade all these names during the earnings season, exactly which names I'm going to go for. And they quickly became some of T3's most viral videos here because people are noting the value behind it. There's a video that I did right over here. Just check it out. I highly suggest you watch it. It literally is, it's NBS number 442. You could just go on Facebook and watch it for free. And I literally say how to trade the entire earnings season ahead. It's no secret. It's no secret stock setups. It's no stupid candlestick formation. It's not whatever. It's just no nonsense, just about having trades work. So we're watching two names today, Bed Bath & Beyond. Bed Bath & Beyond put in a big red bar. We're looking for a breakout to the upside of it. So naturally, this is a 1 minute chart between Bed Bath & Beyond and NVIDIA. With the green bar to start, we focused in on NVIDIA. First trade I do, well, if you watch that video, it's a one and done long. You buy through the first break of the 1 minute bar. Right over here, you buy through 190.75. Stock goes up $1 in your face in 1 minute. The trade's over. I'm not even saying that. I'm not even going to do one of those videos where somebody says, like, well, look, I bought here and you could have sat there and held the damn thing all day and you would have hit a home run and a half. And had I held my entire position today, I would have been up $85,000. But instead, I have to settle for a small fraction of that. I'm not even going into the fact that NVIDIA ran up all day and it was the top stock we were watching on our radar. All I'm saying is look at these two bars. That's it. All right. I'm not talking nonsense. I'm not showing you after the fact. We're doing this in a real time basis in front of the largest community here at T3. You buy through 190.75, you're up $1 in a minute, your day's over. You know how many people logged off today after that? They were done. I have some things here. Jack up $10,000 today. Rodolfo, I have never been this consistent. This is all from today. Mark, I've never been this consistent. Mark, 4 for 4 today. I've not cleared $800, but I like the consistency I'm developing. Thanks to you and Los Banditos in the room. And there's just so many more. I'm not going to go into all the things that people say, but there are dozens of them. So right over here, your day's done. Imagine you have an entire room focusing on the video. Imagine you could log off after 9:32 a.m. today, like hundreds of Newsbeat Live members did. Right over here. Now, the next trade that you could do, I didn't do this one. Next one I did was the high five, which I'll go over. But just since we're on the 1 minute, you could have done the high one strategy through 192.62, and in 2 minutes you could have made 80 cents in the video. It's real money. It's consistency. This is just using all the strategies I speak of. Now, the next strategy we did in the video was the Mark 5, and it was a long right here through 192.88. Immediately jumped to 193.45. I sold 80% of my position as it popped up. My P&L exploded right over there. I mean, it literally went from like 192.88 to 193.45 in like a minute. It was even though this is a 5 minute chart, it went there in about a minute. It was a beautiful wedge we pointed out, a little bull flag, falling triangle wedge. That's, more trend line stuff, but just since we're talking about the candlesticks here, you went right up through 192.88 and then grinded up all day. So many people left runners on through there and made a ton of money. The VWAP reversal setup actually never came through because we never actually came down and tested the VWAP in the video, which is this orange line down here. And it was just very easy money. I can't explain it to you that much simpler. If you're trading some of the earnings name, use the Newsbeat Live strategies. Johnson & Johnson, Mark 5 we called out through 133.06. Target day highs of 133.44. Got there in one 5 minute candle. Shot up again to 134. Gave you a nice little dollar move in less than 10 minutes. Look at that. That's your day. And the whole point is true consistency. As I was telling you guys yesterday, the psychology of true consistency, the way to achieve it is by actually doing strategies that work most of the time. The problem is, for whatever reason, whether they have discovered them or not, or whether they put in the work or not, I don't see them anywhere else on Wall Street. I don't see anybody. Everybody is stuck, as I call it, the 43.57 range, which basically means all their strategies are going to work for them 43 to 57% of the time. And if you're having a bad day, you're going to feel like the world is down on you. You're going to have a good day, you're going to think it's the best strategy in the world because you're so used to making and losing and making and losing that nothing makes sense anymore. And the average of your account is in a downward slope, but going up and down with a downward slope. And many people feel like that. Many people who break the path and start doing their own thing and start trying to, follow these, so-called gurus in the industry are going to end up getting crushed. And that's why people think day trading is a hard game. But when I stopped and I asked the room today, was today a hard trading day? And I said, whether you traded or not, whether it was easy, whether it was hard, how many people think today was a hard trading day? It was so easy. Like there's nothing I could touch that lost. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. And whether you were doing, and again, I'm not sitting here cherry picking any of these ideas. You could have done a Mark 5 short on Goldman Sachs, maybe catch a little, a VWAP reversal that we called long right here in Goldman Sachs and catch it to the upside. You could have done, a UNH right here. I mean, there's just so many names and opportunities that you could have caught that literally I'm not catching them all. The truth is, if you want consistency, you have to find somebody who actually knows how to achieve consistency. If you can't bat 70% or more on each one of your strategies, they are not effective strategies. I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you right now. Here, let's just take a very bright notepad here. Hit rate 45%. Whatever it is, let's say 45 out of 100 trade. Well, let's even make it bigger, 90 out of 200. How many people like this strategy right now before knowing what it is? Do you guys like this? No, nobody wants it. Of course not. But what if I told you this? Total P&L. Now, how many of you guys like it? I still don't like it. Did I change anything by just showing you now my total P&L? This is not my I make way more money than this and I have a way higher hit rate than this. This is just me showing you an example. No. And the Newsbeat Live members are already saying no because even though every single one of you would like to have 500,000, you know that if you're going to approach a 45% strategy, the chances of you making this are almost nil. Would it matter if I came to you and I said I have a 55% win strategy here? Would that matter to you? Now, what if I told you this? Do you like my strategy a little more? Maybe. Maybe a little more. Magic 8 Ball says no. Maybe a little more. Maybe a little more you like it. Just a little bit more. And if I told you my total P&L was negative 50,000, all of a sudden you wouldn't like it. Now, of course, what I am doing is I'm showing you the hilarity of low hit rate strategies that are stuck between the 43 and 57% range. Now, if I told you there was a strategy that was right 81.5% of the time, what if I told you that? How many people want to know what this strategy is? All of a sudden, everybody is interested. And as long as this total P&L is anything positive, you are going to be interested in the strategy. This is only a strategy I have for 1 month. This is a strategy I'm doing for 1 month, and you already know what strategy it is. This is just one of my strategies. Do you guys like this strategy? I unveiled it to you. I unveiled it to you in the video I just talked to you about. Trading names like Goldman Sachs today, following that methodology, you would have been buying right here through $200.29. You would have caught $1 before you can blink. I'm not even talking about this other move here. Don't think I'm being like that person who's cherry picking what worked and didn't work. I don't care that Goldman Sachs shot up to $208 after, we called it long through $200. I don't even care about the $8 move. You know what I'm talking about? Just so we're clear on things, so there's no misunderstanding. I'm talking about this. Buying at this bar right over here near the lower middle range, the lower end of the range, not at the dead low, and selling after it pops. Maybe you didn't catch $1 and change. Maybe you caught 40 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents. And that's your day. That's your day. That's a VWAP reversal. That's a VWAP reversal. The truth is, something like this, regardless of the name of the strategy, despite what I call it, despite I could call it Susan if I'd like. Here's my Susan strategy. Everybody wants to know what the Susan strategy is. I share it with you for free. Why? Because I actually want you to become a consistent trader. I want you to break through your losing strategies. I want you to be a winner. Yeah, I can have something where I take this strategy and I offer it as a new course, and I'll pull in probably a few $100,000 selling it. I could. Very easy. Very easily. And I do sell courses with other things as well. I do. But the whole point is I need you to gain confidence in yourself. I need you to see something in your face that actually works. I need you to know that if you can follow everything that we are doing and learn through, and again, easier said than done. I go to such extensive lengths. I mean, just look at some of my videos that are over an hour long. I mean, I have 2 kids. I have to put them to bed. I'm in front of the market all day. I'm studying. I'm researching. I'm back testing. I spend this time with you guys for one simple reason is that I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, give a crap about your success. In fact, we just recently added a group coaching thing, which was maybe it should have been maybe you should have been a product by itself. I mean, I'm not silly. The sheer volume of people in the Newsbeat live room, it probably would have paid money for it, without a doubt, to be part of something like that. And no, not everything is free, but we under promise and over deliver every single moment. Why? Because we care about your success. Because even though I am changing the lives of people every single day, even though my goal is to get 100% of traders profitable, my work will never be done. I will never get 100% of traders profitable because people will keep joining who are successful, who are not successful, who are in between becoming successful, and people will keep joining a room, and I'll keep knocking out more and more and more and more people becoming successful, 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 but there will always be a pool of traders who just haven't gotten to that level yet. And I'm here fighting night and day, constantly, consistently, back testing, doing everything I can, not using the same tired old stuff. My strategies change with the market. The market evolves and changes. Something else is working better now. I will discover that probably before everyone else. Why? Because I put in the hard work, the sweat, the hours, the back testing. I don't just lean back on a strategy that works half the time and say, well, okay, between this strategy and whatever else, I should be fine. I'm smart enough to know that we're all individuals as human beings, and what some people could do, others can't do. There are things that you can do that I can't do well, and the things that I do well that you can't do well. So one must discover something that the majority of people can do well. And that is the whole purpose of the Newsbeat Live Room, to finally help people achieve their dreams as I, dare I say full-time trader, because a full-time trader for me is somebody who could work an hour a day. That's a full-time trader for me. You're working from 9:30 to 4? What's wrong with you? I work from 9:30 to 4. I'm running a room. You think I'm throwing trades throughout the entire day? My trading stops generally after 11 o'clock. Now, what kind of trades would I do today? Well, what kind of things are we talking about here? Well, let me show you true technical analysis. I want to show you true technical analysis there, because there is the entire Wall Street who really believes that everything could be given with either a moving average, which I use, or just simple candlesticks and volume, which I use. And there is definitely something to be said for that, believe me. But what if? And again, just what if? What if yesterday we told you, just, I mean, just humor me here for a second. Just what if yesterday, on yesterday's video, we told you that 194.13 would be the low in the high in the triple Qs, like right here yesterday when we showed you this slide yesterday. What if we told you 194.13 would be the high in the Qs today, and it tops out at 193.97? What if we told you intraday, as the market was going up, right over here, right when the Qs were in the 193, just under 193.60, that I'm buying puts and I'm calling the top of the market right here in real time today and catching this move lower? What if that was the only call I made today shorting the Qs? Would that be impressive? What if yesterday, and again, we're just, hypothetically speaking, what if yesterday, what if What if I said on IWM, which is the Russell 2000 ETF, just for example, just please humor me. What if I told you yesterday that 152.15 would be the resistance of IWM, and it hit 152.13, 2 cents away, on a multi-billion dollar ETF like the Russell 2000 ETF? What if? What if, and again, I appreciate you humoring me here. What if on Netflix yesterday I came to you and told you that $279.13 was the algorithmic support, algo levels, where the robots buy Netflix at 279.13, and Netflix hit a low of 279.40, 27 cents away on Netflix with over a $6 range? Would you find that impressive at all? Maybe you're not convinced yet, and that's okay, because I have good news for you. Here are tomorrow's levels. I do not have a time machine, despite the rumors floating on the internet. These are tomorrow's levels today. They don't always hit, but when they do, you're going to get a price alert in real time. In real time, you are going to get a price alert. in real time of when these levels hit. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that just absolutely amazing to actually get an alert in real time? Not only that, you can trade it. You'll get it on your phone. You'll get it through your email. You'll get it on Twitter, however you decide to receive it. These are, again, tomorrow's levels today. They don't always hit, but when they do, I tend to have an easy time shorting when resistance hits and going long when support hits. We called the top of the queues today, again, amongst other things. We're doing a really good job here. We're just doing a really awesome job here in the market. And consistency, I might not have all the fancy schmancy slides. I might not have cool editing and I see some of the videos out there on the internet and they're really flashy and they use really cool thumbnails and things like that. And me, very unfortunately, what I use for most of my thumbnails is this, which is really good to scare the kids away. Also, Halloween coming up, I don't have to buy a costume. I could just literally go as myself. And maybe what I do is not so flashy, but it's consistent and it works and it cures psychological toxicity and it prevents psychological toxicity. And you know what? Trading is a fun job for consistent Newsbeat Live members. We love trading. Trading is not supposed to be a stressful, cuddle up in a fetal position in your bed after a losing day, feeling horrible out there, being nasty to your family, being mean to your loved ones because, how many people out there have a loved one and when you have a losing day, they're like, "Did you lose money today?" It's almost as if they could know. It's almost like written on your face. How many people have gone through that? Trading is a fun job. Trading is an easy job. I'm here to help you realize that dream in a real way. I'm not here to pitch you. I'm not here to scam you. I'm here for you to actually see it in front of your face of what actually works and help you remove your bad habits and adopt some really good ones. I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show. Happy trading, make money, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.